Welcome everyone. Today we are going to break down every bit of details of Agatha all along, first two episodes. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe it. Episode 1 was titled Seekers Through the Road, a reference to Witch's Road. Agatha tries to walk to regain her strength, Scarlet which was taken during the WandaVision. The title is also a verse from the Ballad of the Witch's Road, the song they actually sing to enter the gate. To enter the Witch's Road dimension, which is like an alternative dimension in the MCU from the Scarlet Witch comics. In the first two episodes, they played the ballad throughout the episode. The way they explained it in the show is the same logic as in the comics. The idea is that only witches can enter this special alternative dimension. Joy Lucky plays the teenage version of Billy, Scarlet Witch's son. Why can't he remember being Scarlet Witch's son when he hears Scarlet Witch's name out loud and doesn't respond? It was all because of very powerful and deep spell that the Scarlet Witch put on him before she died. This is because the Scarlet Witch clings to Agatha at the end of the WandaVision. Agatha is back in the spell that trapped her at the beginning of the series. So, for the past 3 years, she has been trapped in the spell of Westview reality. The almost original opening scene of this first half of the episode is a parody of the original Detective Mare in the Easttown TV show segment. But the way Scarlet Witch conjures up her creation, the rest of the townspeople are normal, and she sees it is this fake reality. Later, after she breaks out of the spell and talks to the neighbor, what is going on all this time? Were you kidding me? The other townspeople thought she was acting weird and was super into the true crime, so they played along with her. The song she plays in the car on the way to see the body is the Witch's Road theme song, from which the episode takes its title. It meant a subtle reminder deep within her, even without her magic. When she was struck in this spell, she is still powerful enough that her mind can subconsciously sense that it is trapped by the spell and is trying to break out. And then almost all the dialogue, because the entire first part of the episode is some reference to her being trapped in this fake spell, reality by Scarlet Witch, the events of the WandaVision, the events of the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness where Scarlet Witch is killed. It has the same vibe as the WandaVision episodes, and you start to notice that there are little clues around you that you are inside this fake reality of Hex. The only case she can solve is to help Billy get to the end of the Witch's Road. That even if you don't pay close attention to the episode, you can tell that is the giant toy corpse is the Scarlet Witch. Later in the episode, she says that she used to have scarlet hair, then wants to be more literal with the Scarlet Witch reference. But first, I think it's clear who it is. The anonymous call informing them of the dead body is another Billy reference, as he is the one who breaks her out of the spell. Someone who doesn't want the body of the Scarlet Witch to be here alone is another trick of Billy's. But remember, every turn, Billy doesn't seem to have full access to the memories of who really he is, where he comes from, or the Scarlet Witch is his mother, because that is the way witchcraft works on him. You will never see her face, as the camera was always very careful to hide her face. You only see her hands and her feet like a lock of her red crimson hair. Notice when Agatha looks into her face, she didn't realize it was the Scarlet Witch at first because of the spell. She thinks it's a giant toy, the dead body. She goes to the library. Remember, this is where Vision, part-wide Vision, and it turns out Dottie from WandaVision is one of the librarians. But remember, because Dottie isn't trapped inside a spell, it's just like a Dottie's job in real life. She has a little joke about seeing Dottie with someone else in town between 1 and 3 a.m. last night. Book on card, dialogue, rhetoric, Andrew Hughes' well-known history and learning of debate is an anagram of a dagger in the Darkhold. So she searches the stacks looking for copies of the book and finds them all burnt. This is the reference to all copies of the Darkhold that burns during the events of the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness. They explain that is this woman sacrificed herself to destroy the MCU version of the Darkhold. That's why the entire library of Darkhold references was burnt in the library. Aubrey Plaza called Raya Vidal during the series. Now, that is not a comic character, but she is called the Green Witch. The way they talk about their characters later in the episode, she is Agatha's heart like a black heart. So they had a relationship at some point. Maybe she is still in love with her, and they are teaming up during the series to get some kind of power. Like Raya Vidal is true villain of the series, using Agatha to gain more power. That's why later Agatha eats the list so Billy can see another name on it, because another name could be Rio Vidal. So the other members of the agreement do not learn what Rio is doing. She will become the main villain of the series as they hinted in the first 2 episodes. That's the part of the idea though, that she's come to find Agatha and maybe she wants to use Agatha to find more power. But she is messing with her, so she goes into the whole situation knowing that Agatha is under a spell, but she herself is not trapped under the spell. Is that why she seems to be messing with her so much? Like basically saying all these things to try and force Agatha to remember who she really is. We see Billy trying to break into her house because he is trying to break her spell, because he knows all about Agatha Harkness, because he is not trapped inside the false reality of the spell. So he is not exactly who Agatha Harkness and wants to walk down the witch's road, so he helps her break so she will. When he makes fun of her for being hated by the other witches, he is not wrong. They talk about this later in the episode when she tried to put together her pact. Basically, she is considered a pariah by all witches because she is considered a witch killer. She steals the power of other witches. Billy started talking about Witch's Road and they played the Witch's Road theme music. He begins to cast a spell to break the Scarlet Witch's spell on her. Another fun callback joke you might find here is that she is still stuck inside the fake reality and she is questioning Billy. She says, "Where were you between 1 and 3 am last night?" The whole reason he didn't see the booty was the effect of the Scarlet Witch spell working on her mind. He's not trapped inside the spell, so the pictures are just someone's backyard. And then they do this fun transition effect by literally pulling plots from each of the different divisions she's been through in one division episode and literally throwing them away. That's why she ends up naked at the end. When she finally breaks out of the spell, love all the fun with her neighbors. Like giving her little show here, a little bear. They tried not to mention Wanda's name at Westview. In episode 2, the title was Circle Sent with Fate. Billy wins Agatha a bit. When she learns that he is the reason she broke out of the spell, she was impressed that he was able to break a spell as strong as the one Scarlet Witch had put on her. Like, you can break the Scarlet Witch? That is impressive. Who are you, kid? So this is where the episodes start to delve into more of the mystery behind the spell on him, preventing him from knowing who he is or hearing Agatha actually talk about his backstory. Like any time in the episode, he is either tries or start to literally speak his name to her when he talks about his story. It becomes white noise or incantation or his sleep stops him. But notice, when she say it again, kid, and he says his name again in the spell blocks him again. It actually looks like his lips are mouthing words. So part of the twist here is that his brain contains information that his mother is Scarlet Witch, but powerful spells on the Scarlet Witch put on him before she died prevent him from accessing those memories. The reason he is able to break Scarlet Witch's spell is because his powers work just like hers. And since he basically has the same level of powers as she does, he destined to eventually become stronger than her. But at least at this point, he tells her he needs more power, like he's learned some things, like some magics, but he really wants to fully access to his power. When he says the witches offers the road, what is lost awaits you at its end. In fact, the twist we all are thinking here is maybe the Scarlet Witch waiting for him. As the witch's trail ends, what he misses is his family, as he would learn all about them. Although Agatha is said to be on the road to regain her powers, what is she really missing? Awaiting her, as in her life, is probably her own coven of witches. Her true strength was the friends she made along the way. She needs a group of 5 witches to form the coven, because the 5 symbols of the pentagram unlock the gate between the dimension to the witch's road. So she puts together a team like we are talking about the witchy Avengers here. They still go through visions of Scarlet Witch. She is the Salem 7 who begins their attack and manages to drive them all through the portal to Witch's Road. So I think they are making fun of the fact that they are actually going through it. They all take off their shoes as the witches start walking down the road. While they are in this alternative dimension, it is a sign of respect. Also remember, the Scarlet Witch's body was not wearing its shoes. This is another reference to the fact that she also walked the Witch's Road. In general, the whole concept of Witch's Road is relatively new to Scarlet Witch comics, but it's meant to act like an alternative dimension that only witches can go to. So the idea is the Scarlet Witch's body may have perished, but her spirit was able to travel to Witch's Road. If they survive to the end, they achieve some kind of functionality or some kind of character development or some kind of spiritual enlightenment that gives them the power of they craved. Billy thinks he is trying to unlock more power, but in accessing those memories, he is about to learn the truth about his family. Also, it will give him access to his powers as if he already has 100% power level up. He doesn't know he has access to those powers yet. Thanks for watching, guys.